New York City's new era began not in a grand hall, nor beneath the glittering lights of a traditional stage, but in the decommissioned City Hall subway station, an intentional nod to the city's working people and its resilient spirit. The choice of venue was more than symbolic. It was a statement that the city's leadership would be accessible, grounded, and in touch with the everyday lives of New Yorkers. Just after midnight on January 1st, 2026, Zohran Mamdani was sworn in as the 112th mayor of New York, surrounded by close family and supporters in the elegant Forgotten Station. The air was filled with anticipation and hope, as the echoes of the past mingled with the promise of a new future. The setting was a message. This administration would be rooted in the city's foundation, its transit, its neighborhoods, and its people. The subway, a lifeline for millions, became the stage for a new chapter in the city's story. His wife, Rama Duwaji, held 2 Qurans, a family heirloom passed down through generations, and one once owned by Arturo Schomburg, symbolizing the city's rich, diverse history. These sacred texts represented not only faith, but also the enduring legacy of those who shaped New York's cultural tapestry. New York State Attorney General Letitia James administered the oath, underscoring the coalition that brought this moment to life. Her presence was a reminder of the broad alliances and shared vision that made this historic night possible. Later, a larger public ceremony would follow, but this quiet midnight moment was the true beginning. In the stillness of the underground, a new leadership quietly took root, away from the spotlight, but close to the city's soul. It was a declaration that the city's heart beat strongest in its subway tunnels, where the daily journeys of millions intersect and stories unfold. And among its people, not in penthouses above, but in the shared spaces and streets where New Yorkers live, work, and dream together. For $9 paid to the city clerk, a new era was sworn in, grounded, accessible, and ready to serve. This was an inauguration for the people, by the people, and with the people at its very heart. Zohran Mamdani's inauguration shattered barriers, marking a new era in New York City's storied political history. His swearing-in ceremony was not just a personal milestone, but a moment that resonated deeply with communities across the city. The event reflected New York's unmatched diversity, with people from every background coming together to witness history in the making. The city's vibrant multiculturalism was on full display, underscoring its reputation as a true melting pot. At just 34 years old, Mamdani became the youngest mayor in over a century, bringing fresh energy and a new perspective to city leadership. His youth inspired a new generation to believe in the power of civic engagement. He is also the first Muslim, the first South Asian, and the first African-born leader of the city, an unprecedented combination that speaks to the evolving face of New York's leadership. Mamdani's rise from Queens Assemblyman to mayor was fueled by his tireless advocacy for tenants and working-class New Yorkers. He built his campaign on listening to the struggles of everyday people and fighting for their rights. He succeeded Eric Adams, whose term ended in scandal and controversy, leaving many New Yorkers disillusioned with city leadership and hungry for change. Mamdani's victory was a clear demand for integrity and transparency in government, as voters rallied behind his promise to restore trust and accountability to City Hall. The 2025 election saw a record turnout, with energized voters lining up across the city. Mamdani won decisively over Andrew Cuomo, signaling a dramatic shift in the city's political landscape. The result sent a powerful message, a mandate for radical change and a new direction for New York's future. Embracing his identity as a democratic socialist, Mamdani promised to govern with a bold commitment to social and economic equality, vowing to put people before profits and champion policies that uplift the most vulnerable. His mayoralty is a test. Can progressive socialist policies succeed in America's largest city, and will New York become a model for the nation? For millions, his election is a beacon of hope that a more just, inclusive, and equitable New York is finally within reach, a city where everyone can truly belong. Mamdani's campaign was built on bold promises to tackle New York's affordability crisis head-on. He pledged to freeze rents for nearly 1 million rent-stabilized apartments, offering immediate relief to struggling tenants. He championed free bus fares and universal free childcare, aiming to make mobility and early education accessible to all. His housing plan, 200,000 new, permanently affordable homes built on public land, treating housing as a human right. In his inaugural speech, he vowed to govern audaciously, never shying from difficult fights. "We may not always succeed," he declared, "but never will we lack the courage to try." His message, bold action, a willingness to challenge power, and belief in a better New York. Mayor Mamdani wasted no time. His administration launched with decisive action on day one. He revoked all executive orders from the previous administration before Adams's indictment, signaling a clean break from scandal. Mamdani streamlined his team to 5 deputy mayors, including national labor leader Julie Su and housing expert Layla Bozorg. He revived the mayor's office to protect tenants, appointing activist CEA Weaver, and created task forces to unlock city land for affordable housing. By day's end, he stood with tenants at a Brooklyn building facing bankruptcy, announcing legal action to protect their homes. This was more than symbolism. It was a promise in action. His administration would fight for tenants and use every tool to address the housing crisis. The new mayor made it clear the era of business as usual was over. Hope-filled Inauguration Day, but Mamdani faces immense challenges. The city's affordability crisis is dire, rents are unsustainable, and stable housing is out of reach for many. A severe housing shortage and rising homelessness have left 100,000 people, including children, in shelters each night. City Hall's looming budget gap, projected to hit $13 billion by 2028, threatens funding for new programs and essential services. Mamdani's first budget will test his ability to balance ambition with fiscal reality. The city is still recovering from years of economic upheaval, with small businesses struggling and entire sectors changed. The mayor must foster an equitable recovery that benefits all New Yorkers, not just the wealthy. The climb ahead is steep, demanding bold ideas and political skill. The numbers behind New York's affordability crisis are staggering. Over half of city households are rent-burdened, with many spending more than 50% of their income on housing. Manhattan's median rent has soared past $5,400 a month, pushing families further from jobs and communities. Homelessness has reached historic levels, with over 100,000 New Yorkers, many children, sleeping in shelters nightly. Food insecurity is rampant. 1.4 million residents lack reliable access to enough food. Food pantries are overwhelmed, serving working families and seniors who can't make ends meet. Childcare costs are among the nation's highest, with care for a 2-year-old reaching $34,000 a year. For countless parents, quality childcare is out of reach, forcing impossible choices. For too many, the dream of thriving in New York has become a daily struggle for survival. Mamdani's agenda faces fierce resistance from Albany and Washington. His plan for free buses is opposed by Governor Hochul, who cites a $1 billion annual revenue gap for the MTA. Raising taxes on the wealthy and corporations will spark battles with business interests and moderate lawmakers. At the federal level, a Republican administration is slashing social programs and withholding $18 billion in transit funding. The One Big Beautiful Bill could strip 1.5 million New Yorkers of health insurance, straining city hospitals. Despite a cordial meeting with President Trump, relations remain tense and resources scarce. Mamdani must find creative ways to deliver on his promises with fewer resources than his predecessors. New York stands as a progressive city on a political island. Mamdani's election as a Democratic Socialist mayor has sparked both hope and anxiety. Supporters, labor unions, tenants, progressives see him as a leader ready to fight for working people and challenge entrenched power. They expect bold action, not incremental change, and hope his success will inspire cities nationwide. Critics, especially in business and real estate, fear his agenda will harm the economy, drive away investment, and erode the tax base. They warn that rent freezes could deteriorate housing and that higher taxes may push high earners out. Opponents predict his promises will clash with fiscal reality, forcing painful cuts or broken pledges. The central question, can Mamdani deliver on his vision without bankrupting the city? The answer will shape New York's future for decades. Mayor Mamdani's inauguration marks not just a new administration, but a renewal of New York's enduring promise, a city for all, not just the privileged few. It's a moment that reminds us of the city's roots as a place where anyone, regardless of background, can dream and belong. His humble swearing-in ceremony resonated deeply with millions who've long felt left behind by the system, offering a genuine hope for a government that finally puts their needs and voices first. The cheers on the City Hall steps echoed the aspirations of countless New Yorkers who have waited for real change. The challenges ahead are daunting. A budget crisis threatens vital services, a severe housing shortage leaves many struggling, and political opposition looms large at every turn. These are not easy problems, and the path forward will demand courage and creativity. Yet the city's energy is one of determined optimism, fueled by a leader with a clear moral compass and a vision for a more just future. New Yorkers are resilient, and their hope is reignited by leadership that listens and acts. As the first Muslim and South Asian mayor, Mamdani's story inspires a new generation and broadens the city's vision of leadership. His journey is a testament to the city's diversity and the power of representation, showing every child that they too can lead. His election is a bold bet on progressive change and a declaration that New York will fight for justice and opportunity for all its residents, no matter their background or circumstance. This is a new beginning, one that's full of challenges, but also immense possibility. The city stands at a crossroads, ready to shape its future with hope and determination. For a city that's weathered dark days and always found a way forward, this moment is a welcome dawn of hope on the Hudson, a chance to build a brighter tomorrow together.